You know that moment when you're standing in your kitchen, the afternoon light hits just right, and suddenly you see it. That thick, sticky, yellowish film coatings every single one of your cabinet doors. It stops you dead in your tracks. You reach out and touch it, and your finger just sticks, and your heart sinks a little, doesn't it? Because you know what that means. You know the kind of scrubbing, the kind of effort, the kind of sore arms and sore back that usually comes with trying to clean something like that. You've probably tried before. Maybe you grabbed a sponge and some dish soap and went at it, and the grease just smeared around. Maybe you used one of those commercial degreasers that smelled so strong it made your eyes water, and still the cabinets didn't come fully clean. Maybe you just gave up, covered it with a dish towel, or told yourself you'd deal with it later. Well, later is today, and I want you to know it does not have to be the battle you think it is. What I'm going to share with you today is something that has genuinely changed the way thousands of people clean their kitchens. It's a method that takes about 10 minutes. It does not require scrubbing, it does not require expensive products, it does not require getting down on your knees or straining your shoulders or any of the hard physical work that cleaning sometimes demands. And the best part, you already have everything you need sitting in your kitchen right now. I am not exaggerating when I tell you that by the end of this video, you are going to look at your cabinets and not recognize them. That sticky, dark, grimy buildup that has been sitting there for months, maybe years, is going to lift right off, and you are going to feel so good about it. But before we get into the method, let me take just a moment to talk about what that grease actually is, because understanding it is the secret to defeating it. Every single time you cook, whether you're frying eggs in the morning, sautéing onions, making a big pot of soup, or just boiling water on a hot day, tiny particles of grease and oil get released into the air. You can't always see them, you can't always feel them, but they float up, they drift around your kitchen, and they land on every surface nearby, including your cabinet doors. Over time, those tiny invisible particles build up into layers, and then dust sticks to those layers, and then more grease lands on top of the dust. And that cycle repeats, week after week, month after month, until what you've got is that thick, tacky, almost varnish-like coating that feels impossible to remove. Here is what most people don't know, though, and this is really the key to everything I'm about to show you. Grease dissolves grease. It sounds strange, I know. It sounds like it shouldn't work, but it is a real, proven principle, and it is the reason why the method we're going to use today works so incredibly well. You don't fight grease with brute force. You don't scrub it off. You dissolve it. You use ingredients that are specifically designed, chemically speaking, to break down oil-based molecules and turn them from that sticky, clingy mess into something that just wipes right away. And when you pair that with a couple of other things you probably have in your pantry, the results are almost unbelievable. So let's talk about what you're going to need. This is a short list, and I want you to feel completely at ease because nothing on here is complicated or hard to find. First, you're going to need baking soda. Plain, regular baking soda, the kind in the orange box that's been sitting in your refrigerator or your pantry. Second, you're going to need dish soap. Any dish soap works, but if you have the original Blue Dawn, that is going to give you the very best results because it is specifically formulated to cut through grease. It's the same soap they use to clean oil off of animals after oil spills. That's how powerful it is at breaking down grease molecules. Third, you're going to need white vinegar. Not apple cider vinegar, not balsamic, just plain white distilled vinegar, the kind that costs about $1 at the grocery store. Fourth, you'll need some warm water. And finally, you're going to need 2 soft cloths or microfiber towels. Not a rough scrubbing pad, a soft cloth, because once this solution does its job, the grease is going to come off so easily that you truly will not need anything abrasive. That is your entire supply list. 5 things, all of them probably already in your home. Are you ready? Let's walk through this together. The first thing you're going to do is make what I like to call the dissolving paste. In a small bowl, you're going to combine 3 tablespoons of baking soda with just enough dish soap to make it the consistency of a thick toothpaste. About a teaspoon of dish soap should do it. You stir those 2 things together until they're fully combined into a smooth paste. Now, here's why this works so beautifully. Baking soda is a mild abrasive, which means it has just enough texture to gently loosen buildup, but it's so fine and so soft that it will not scratch your cabinet surfaces, even if they're painted or have a finished wood look. The dish soap, meanwhile, is doing the heavy chemical lifting. It contains surfactants, which are molecules that attach themselves to grease on one end and to water on the other, essentially grabbing the grease and pulling it away from the surface. Together, these two ingredients create a 1-2 punch that tackles even the most stubborn grease buildup. Now, you're gonna take one of your soft cloths and apply just a small amount of that paste to it, maybe the size of a quarter. You don't need a lot. In fact, one of the most common mistakes people make with cleaning is thinking that more product means more cleaning power. That's actually not true, and using too much can leave a residue that attracts even more dust and grime later. A little goes a long way here. With your cloth loaded with that paste, you're going to press it gently against the cabinet surface and use slow, circular motions. Not scrubbing, just gentle, easy circles. You are not trying to muscle the grease off. You are giving the paste time to do its job. As you move in those slow circles, you'll start to feel the surface changing under your cloth. It won't feel tacky anymore. It will start to feel smooth. And if you look at your cloth, you're going to see something pretty remarkable. That cloth is going to start turning dark and brownish yellow. That is the grease coming off the cabinet. That is years of buildup literally lifting away with almost no effort on your part. Work your way across the cabinet door in sections. Do a small area, move to the next, and keep going. Take your time. There's no rush here. And as you work, you'll notice that the more you do this, the more the grease releases. It almost seems to get easier the further you go, because as you clean one section, the paste becomes more activated and works even faster on the next one. It's a genuinely satisfying process once you get going. Now, here's the part that most people either skip or don't know about, and it is the step that takes a good cleaning job to a truly great one. Once you've gone over the cabinet with the paste, you're going to make a rinse solution. In a bowl or a spray bottle, you're going to mix together 1 cup of warm water with 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. That's it, just those 2 things. Stir or shake them together and then apply it to your cloth, or spray it directly onto the cabinet if you're using a spray bottle. Then wipe the cabinet down again with your second clean cloth. Why vinegar? Because vinegar is acetic acid, and acetic acid is brilliant at 2 things. First, it neutralizes any remaining grease residue that the paste might have loosened but not fully removed. Second, and this is important, it acts as a natural rinse agent, removing any leftover soap or baking soda residue from the surface. If you skip this step, sometimes you can get a faint chalky film from the baking soda or a slightly slick feel from the soap. The vinegar wipe takes all of that away and leaves your cabinet door absolutely clean and streak-free. You'll also notice that after the vinegar wipe, the wood or surface of your cabinet looks brighter, more vibrant. The true color of the material comes back, whether it's white, oak, cherry, or painted, because the layer of gray-yellow grease that was dulling it is completely gone. And now, the final step, the one that will put the biggest smile on your face. You take your clean, dry cloth and you do one last gentle buff of the surface. Just a light, easy pass over the cabinet door. This removes any last bit of moisture, buffs away any streaks, and leaves the surface with a subtle, natural shine. Run your finger along the cabinet now. Go ahead. Feel it. It's smooth, it's clean, there's no stickiness, no tackiness, no residue of any kind. Just a clean, beautiful cabinet door that looks like it was just installed. Now, I want to make sure you get the full benefit from this method, so let me share a few extra tips that are going to make your life even easier. The first tip is about temperature. Warm solutions always work better on grease than cold ones. Grease becomes more fluid and more soluble when it's warm, so if your paste feels a little stiff or if it's a cold day, you can add just a tiny splash of warm water to loosen it up. Similarly, when you're making the vinegar rinse, use the warmest water that's comfortable on your hands. It will dissolve the vinegar better and do a more thorough job on the cabinet. The second tip is about cabinet hardware. Those cabinet handles and knobs often get just as greasy, sometimes more so, than the cabinet doors themselves, because you're touching them every single day with hands that have been cooking. You can use the exact same paste on your handles. Just apply it with an old toothbrush or a soft cloth, let it sit for 30 seconds, and wipe it clean. The difference will be astonishing. A handle that looked dull and brownish will come back to its original silver or brass or whatever color it started as. It's like finding brand new hardware without spending a dime. The third tip, and this one is especially for those of you who have cabinet tops, that flat surface right on top of your upper cabinets, is that those spots typically have the worst grease buildup of all, because heat and grease rise, and they settle on the highest flat surfaces in the room. If you can safely reach the top of your cabinets, use this same method up there. The grease on cabinet tops is often thicker and darker than anywhere else in the kitchen, and when you wipe it away, you will be shocked at what you find. But the method works just as well. Apply the paste, let it work for a minute, wipe it away, rinse with the vinegar solution, and buff dry. Now let's talk about maintenance, because here's the truth. This deep cleaning method is incredible for getting rid of buildup that has accumulated over a long time, but the best thing you can do going forward is keep the grease from building up in the first place, and that is so much easier than you might think. Once a week or even once every 2 weeks, just take a cloth dampened with a little bit of that vinegar and water solution and do a quick wipe down of your cabinet doors. It takes about 3 minutes. It does not require any paste, any baking soda, any special effort. That light, regular maintenance is what keeps the buildup from ever reaching the point where you're dealing with that thick, sticky layer again. Think of it as protecting all the work you just did. You put in the time and effort to get these cabinets clean. A 2-minute wipe every couple of weeks keeps them that way for good. I also want to take a moment to talk about something that I think gets overlooked in most cleaning videos, and that is the emotional side of having a clean home. I know that sounds a little silly, but hear me out. When your kitchen is greasy and dingy, it affects the way you feel in that space. It can make cooking feel like a chore instead of something enjoyable. It can make you feel a little embarrassed when someone comes to visit. It can make the whole house feel heavy, like there's always something you should be doing, something you've been putting off. When you clean those cabinets, when you do this one thing that has been hanging over you, something lifts. The kitchen feels lighter, brighter, more welcoming. You feel proud of your space again, and that feeling, that pride and satisfaction is worth every one of these 10 minutes. I've heard from so many people who tried this method and came back to say things like, "I can't believe how easy that was," and "Why did no one ever tell me about this?" And those messages make me so happy, because that's exactly why I make these videos. Not to sell you anything, not to pretend that cleaning has to be complicated or expensive, but to share the simple, effective, honest methods that actually work, and to make your life a little easier and a little more comfortable. That's it. That's the whole goal. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't wait until the weekend. Don't put it off until you have more time or more energy or until you've cleaned everything else first. Go to your kitchen right now, or as soon as you're done watching, and touch one of your cabinet doors. Feel how sticky it is. Then go get your baking soda and your dish soap and your white vinegar. Mix up that little paste, dampen a cloth, and just start with one cabinet door. Just one. Give it 3 minutes, and then stand back and look at it. Compare it to the cabinet next to it, the one you haven't cleaned yet. You'll see exactly what I mean. You'll feel that satisfaction, that sense of accomplishment, and I promise you, you will want to keep going. You will do every single cabinet in that kitchen, and when you're done, you will feel like you gave your kitchen a whole new life. And when you're finished, I would absolutely love to hear about it. Scroll down to the comments right now and tell me, how long has the grease been building up on your cabinets? How bad was it before you started? And how does it look now that you've used this method? Share your experience with me and with everyone else watching, because your story might be exactly what encourages someone else to finally tackle this in their own kitchen. Your comment matters. Your experience matters. This is a community, and we learn from each other. If this video was helpful to you, if it gave you a new tool, a new method, a new sense of confidence that you can handle this without a lot of effort, please hit that like button. It costs you nothing, and it tells me that this kind of content is what you want to see more of. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell icon so you never miss a new video, because I have so much more to share with you. Next time, we are going to tackle something that almost everyone dreads, and that's the inside of the oven, that baked-on, burnt, impossible mess that seems like it would take a miracle to clean. Except it doesn't. I've got a method for that too. And just like today, it's easy, it's low cost, it's safe, and the results are going to amaze you. You do not want to miss that one. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I genuinely mean that. I know you have a million things you could be doing, and the fact that you watched this video, that you trusted me with a few minutes of your day, means everything. I hope this method serves you well. I hope your kitchen shines. I hope you feel that wave of satisfaction that comes from doing something good for your home and for yourself. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next one.